Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos to each of you. Thank you for coming close and being a part of our service, and we'll welcome others who might be joining us. And certainly on live stream, we say Shabbat Shalom to you as well. Our service is a time for rest, renewal, appreciation of the role that God plays in our life and the role that we play in all that we're called to do and to be. This morning, our prayer book is in front of us or next to you. Inside, you'll find our prayers in Hebrew, English translation, and transliteration. And at the bottom of each page are commentaries to help us understand the meaning of our prayers in greater depth, perhaps even some new insights, even if they are familiar. And during the service, while Carol takes her place and leads us in prayer and is called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah, in order to maintain the sacred space that we've entered, we ask you not to use phones for pictures or text messaging or any purpose. We're delighted to have you and look forward to sharing this joyful hour of rest, renewal, and holiness together. A pleasure now to invite Rabbi Scott to lead us in an opening song.
We begin our service by singing Tov Lehodot from Psalm 92. The words can be found on page 22. Tov Lehodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. Tov Lehodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. On this the day of days, my lips shall sing your praise, for I know that you'll always be here surrounding me. Tov Lehodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. Tov Lehodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. My spirit takes release. I close my eyes in peace, and from my soul, heard far above, springs a song of love. Tov Lehodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. Tov Lehodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon.
In our prayer book, we turn to page 79.
Matter is never destroyed, only transformed. So too can the soul evolve higher and higher, from instinct to inspiration, haughtiness to holiness, selfishness to service, from individualism to union, to join with the soul of souls, the Infinite One. As the soul is magnified and sanctified, so is the Infinite One exalted. Please turn to page 108 for our call to worship Baruch Hu. Please rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Page 110. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei hoshech, osei shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz veladarim alecha berachmim uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid me'aseh bereshit. Ma rabu me'asecha Adonai, kulam bechokma asita, ma'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach me'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita. Yifarucha Selah, or hadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'niskeu lanu mechara le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. We continue on page 113. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and like blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and rewrote. We reached for you down the centuries, your light moving before us as we climbed, fell back, and climbed again. Your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher be'amo Yisrael ve'ahava. Page 114.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated, page 116. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi metzavecha hayom alevavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, beshivtecha bevetecha, uvlevtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vechayu letotafot beinenecha, uktavtam, al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai ve'item kedoshim le'Elohehem. Ani Adonai Elohehem asher hotzeiti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohehem. We read together in the middle of the page. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohehem Emet. Please turn to page 121. We read responsively. The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor, asks God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing. Mi Shimchu Ge'ulim Lishimcha Sifatayam Yachad Kulam Hodu Ve'im Lichu Ve'ameru Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Vahen Swor Yisrael Umam Ezrat Yisrael Uvedei Chinumecha Yuda Yisrael Lo Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Blessed are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. We continue now with our tefillah on pages 124, 126, and 128. Please rise. Adonai sifatav tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Ve'Hanora, Eloyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'zocher chastei avot ve'ima'ot, u'mevi geula livnei vneihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mehaye hakol atah, Rav le'oshia, Mechakel hayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Tzomech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman etah l'chachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. We read together in the middle of page 128. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You sustain life through love, giving life to all through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Page 130.
Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Kishem shemakdishim oto bishmei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviecha, V'kara zel ze ve'amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai tzevaot, velo kol haaretz kevodo. Adir adirenu Adonai Adonenu, Madir Shemcha bechol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai mikomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu vehu Yashmienu, Rachamav veinei kol chayim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Sion, ledor vador. Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid kolecha, ulenetzach netzachim v'nushatcha nakdish, v'shivcha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, leolam vahen. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated, page 132.
Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei Shevi Shabbat, Kulam Yismeu ve'yitangu mitu v'chashabat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. V'hashvini ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, chemdat yamim, oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat. Zecher l'masei b'reishit Shabbat. Zecher l'masei b'reishit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei, oneg Shabbat.
Page 133. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Page 135. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Page 137. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace, and in joy. Page 139. We read responsively. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons. Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim anachnu lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared.
Modim anachnu lach.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
Modim
anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears but by our hopes, not by our words but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Page 140. Grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people, Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together through the light of your presence. Truly through the light of your presence, Adonai, our God, you gave us a Torah of life, the love of kindness, justice, and blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May you see fit to bless your people Israel at all times, at every hour, with your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la la sim 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 shalom sim 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 shalom sim 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 shalom tova uveracha.
We pray silently.
prayer book, we turn to page 244 as we prepare for the reading of Torah. Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai va'ein kama'asecha malchutcha malchut kol olamim umamshaltacha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo iten, Adonai barech et amo v'ashalom. There is none like you among the gods, Adonai, and there are no deeds like yours. You are sovereign over all worlds, and your dominion is in all generations. Adonai reigns, Adonai has reigned. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Adonai will give strength to our people. Adonai will bless our people with peace. This Shabbat morning, it's a privilege to open the doors of the Holy Ark in honor of Susanna Lieberman, and to undress the Torah in a moment in honor of Martin Giorgi and Maria Carla Luna. As we turn to page 248, we rise.
Harachamim, heitiv avirtzon ha'etzion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki lecha levad batachnu, melech elron v'nisa Adon olamim.
Havugod el Eloheinu unuchavo la'Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udevar Adonai Yerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael ikdushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadol Adonai iti, uneromema Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai Hagedula, Hagevura, Mehativeret, Netzach Bechahon, Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz, Ki Chol Bashamayim Uvaretz, Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha, Ve'hamitnaseh Lechol Erosh.
On this Shabbat morning, our Torah reading comes from the book of Numbers, beginning in chapter 6, verse 13, in the portion called Naso. It's a privilege to call to the Torah now to recite the blessings, giving thanks to God for its gifts. Pablo Giorgi.
Baruch et Adonai Mvorach. Baruch Adonai Mvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Mvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amin, ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Vezo Torah Hanazir Beyom Melot Yemen Yisro Yavi Oto El Petach Ohel Moed Vihi Grieve Et Korbano Leadonai Keves Ben Shanato Tamim Echad Laola Vechavsa Achad Bat Shanata Temima Lechatat Ve'ayil Lechatamim Lishlamim Vesal Matzot Solet Halot Belulot Bashemen Urkike Matzot Meshuhim Bashamen Umin Chatam Veniskeihem Vehikriv HaKohen Lifnei Adonai Ve'asad Hatato Ve'et Olato Ve'et Ha'ayil Ya'asei Zevach Shlamim Le'Adonai Al Sal Hamatzot Ve'asa HaKohen Et Minhato Ve'et Nizko.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayolam natan bechotenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ta'amod Golda Bat Chaim V'chana La'aliyah LaTorah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamivorach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vaydaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor Daber El Aharon Ve'el Banav Lemor Ko Tevarechu Et Bnei Yisrael Amor Lachem Yevarechecha Adonai Ve'yishmarecha Yisa Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'huneka Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom v'shamu et shemi al bnei Yisrael ve'ani avorahem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. That was beautiful. Give your parents a big hug.
Our Haftorah is from Judges chapter 13, verses 2 through 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar binviim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem han'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayehi ish echad mitzorah mimishpachat hadani ushmo manoach ve'ishto akara ve'lo yalada. Vayera melech Adonai el ha'isha vayomer elecha hinena et akara ve'lo yaladet ve'charit ve'yeladet bein. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamedaber umkayem shechol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likidusha ve'limenuha lechavod u'letifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umefarahim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Okay. In my Torah portion, Naso, we learn about the ritual for the Nazirite, more specifically, the offerings they were supposed to bring to the temple. They had lambs and rams and unleavened cakes. But it's the second part of my Torah portion that I want to focus on. In my second Aliyah, God gives to Aaron and his sons the priestly benediction. This is a blessing used during bar and bat mitzvahs, weddings, and other religious ceremonies that elevates that ceremony. This priestly benediction was originally said by Aaron as a blessing for the Jewish people. It translates to, "The Eternal bless you and protect you, deal kindly unto you, bestow divine favor upon you, and grant you peace." It is a threefold blessing. As the rabbis teach, the first part is for material goods, the second, to be able to experience the divine, radiant presence of God, and the third, to lift up God's face. All of these definitions are integral components in Jewish tradition. Each of us have our own blessings in our lives, and the key is to be able to appreciate them all. This includes all of the material goods we are blessed with, the resources we are fortunate enough to work for, and the blessings that we as Jewish people have, the blessing that comes from our faith in God. It's the power of feeling the divine presence, and that doesn't come from being a prophet or someone who doesn't question the teachings in the Torah, but someone who questions it all. As children, I think we are taught to undertake the rules that we are given and never question the people in power. Even in Judaism, unshaken faith seems to be prized, but it is precisely our questioning that builds up our faith. Because how are we to fully believe in something if we haven't explored all of the other options and come back to our chosen religion? And that in itself is a blessing. Blessings are so much more than words on a page that we recite during services. Blessings can be the things in our lives that we appreciate, the small miracles that only when missing do we realize how important they are. I have hundreds of blessings in my life, both to do with my religion and in my personal life. All of the people that I love, the people who are here supporting me or watching virtually, are blessings for me, although I have not always appreciated them. I'm sure everyone can agree there are moments when we let our emotions get the better of us, and as we're screaming or yelling at the people we love, we don't take into account how lucky we are to have those people in our lives. It's so easy to get caught up in your own life that the things you see every day become less and less exciting, but being grateful for the things you have is key. Most of my family doesn't live in Houston. In fact, they don't even live in America. And because of time differences and language barriers, I haven't connected to my family as much as other people do. But recently, after a loss of someone in my family that I could have known so much more about, I've had to reflect on the guilt I felt, knowing that I could have known her so much more. Throughout the opportunities that I had, I never called or texted. I took advantage of a blessing that I had. That was a wake-up call for me, one that I needed. I learned the importance of blessings, so now I can be grateful to the people and things I'm so lucky to have in my life. Speaking of those people, my blessings, my family and friends, and the people around me are some of the most patient and loving people I know. I would first like to thank the clergy who guided me when preparing this Devar Torah and when learning my Torah portion. The insight and conversations I had starting at my very first meeting really helped me to adequately prepare for this day. A thank you to my Bat Mitzvah tutor, Beth Israel, who supported me by being flexible with my schedule, sending me helpful emails at every turn, and ending each session by saying she was proud of me. I would like to thank my dad for being at my side through the highs and lows that this year has presented to us. Your sense of humor has really gotten me through everything. A thank you to my mom for always keeping me sane, no matter how hard that was. You taught me to smile and not take life too seriously, and I cannot thank you enough for that. Thank you to my brothers, Lucas and David, who are my two pillars of support. David, who's a ray of sunshine that everyone needs in their lives, and Lucas, who always finds sense in my madness. Thank you for calming me down when I need it most. And finally, I offer a prayer to God for giving me my blessings and helping me figure out who it is I want to be. Shabbat Shalom.
Carol, what a special morning we have shared with you. I know how proud your parents are feeling, your grandparents, family, and friends who are here, and those who are live streaming in all the places where they are. And you, of course, are smiling more easily now that you've accomplished everything that you put your heart and soul into doing. Carol, it goes without saying that you have a beautiful voice, and I hope that as you continue to grow to discover who you are aiming to be, there's no question that you could be a rabbi. You could be a cantor and come back again and continue to lead in beautiful song. I know Rabbi Scott would be so proud of you if you lent your voice to such a sacred role. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Carol, the truth is that your Torah portion speaks beautifully about your heart and soul. The role of the Nazir is a bit odd for us. The Nazir took a vow to abstain from so many joys and privileges that God would otherwise provide. In fact, one of the offerings that a Nazir brought when the oath was over was an offering that reflected and expressed that he didn't enjoy all the things that God had given him, really a sin offering. But what's important in your portion is the beautiful Yevarechecha, the threefold benediction of the Torah that you explained and taught so well. Indeed, in Judaism, we will bless you in a few moments with those very words. We want you to enjoy a life filled with prosperity, material goods that do make your life comfortable. You see, in Judaism, Carol, we can learn from suffering, we can learn from poverty, but we don't aim for suffering or poverty. We aim for the blessings that life is all about. And we ask God to protect us so that you should always enjoy your gifts, your abilities, and skills. No one should deprive you of the beautiful person you are becoming. And of course, aside from material things, just as you said, you continue to grow to be the spiritual religious person that you're becoming, appreciating this role, standing in front of a congregation, chanting and leading us in prayer and teaching. You've earned your place here today and in the future. And of course, shalom. Shalom means peace. But you know, Carol, shalom doesn't only mean peace. It means a sense of wholeness and completeness. So perhaps at the end of each day, at the end of each effort that you make in middle school and high school and in the future, you can feel satisfied with yourself, that you've done the very best that you can. And I know that you mentioned this morning some guilt. Guilt is okay if it motivates you to do things better or differently in the future. But don't let guilt ever hold you back from moving on to being and doing what you should. Because you have a very bright future ahead of you, and I think your parents would agree. Your grandparents are, as we say in Yiddish, shepping nachas, enjoying and all of the joy that you have brought to them this day. So let that blessing always be in your heart. Remember your Torah portion naso as the blessing you've brought to it and it has brought to you, Carol. May you go from strength to strength with so many blessings in front of you. Mazel tov. And Carol, in honor of your Bat Mitzvah day, I want to present these gifts to you. You have certainly earned from the sisterhood this Kiddush cup that you can take home and raise at your Sabbath table on special holidays and sacred occasions to recite the blessing. This is a gift certificate for $250 from the Reform Movement to help pay for a trip to Israel in high school or college with a group of your friends. And we hope that you'll return there, just as we did a few weeks ago, to discover what is ancient and modern, what is Middle Eastern and Western, what is new and what is old, and so filled with ingenuity in Israel. It's just amazing. And this, Carol, is your Bat Mitzvah certificate. It is a testament to all that you've worked hard to do and what you've accomplished this day, being called to the Torah as a Bat Mitzvah and reading from the portion called Naso. So proud of you. It's a privilege to invite Rabbi Scott now to join us. And Carol, if you'll take your place here and face us and the Holy Ark behind us, you know, it's just a matter of coincidence that your Torah portion contains the very words that is our privilege now to bestow upon you, the blessing of Om, the threefold benediction of the Torah. May it go well with you today and for many years to come.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May God's countenance shine upon you and always be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
May God lift God's face upon you and grant you, Carol, all that you wish for yourself in the future, all that your family and friends wish for you too. May it be long life, mitzvah, and the greatest blessing of all, it's the blessing of peace.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Mazel tov. Beautiful. You can return to your seats. And now we prepare to return the Torah to the Holy Ark. And this Shabbat morning, we open the doors of the Holy Ark in honor of Adam Arkanitz. And as we raise the Torah, we rise. Yahalelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of the Lord, for God's name alone is exalted.
Eitz chayim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomcheha ve'hoshar teracheha torchei noam v'chon tivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai
In our prayer book now, we turn to the bottom of page 282 and 287, and we join in Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gilula leotzer breshid, shelo asanu kigoye haratzod, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
Please remain standing.
We turn now to page 294, and as we do, we call to heart and to mind all of our loved ones who have departed from this earth and gone on to the peace of life eternal. In each of their honor and their memory, we join together now in the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'alman dirach yurtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei techol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudesha b'richu, le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, tamiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom mivromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens help all of us to know peace here on earth, as together we say, amen. Please be seated. At this time in our service, our formal prayers have ended, but our blessings continue. And so I'd like to invite Carol to join me here on the lower bima once more, and this time with your parents, Pablo and Ana, to share some personal words with you.
Carol, it feels like yesterday. You were this little tiny baby, and we were giving you your first bath. And to the surprise of everybody in the room, your hair, once cleaned, was a very light blonde color, which made me scream. I gave birth to Barbie. Growing up, you were always a very sweet and fun girl. When I enter a room with you in my lap, head turns around just to see you, and everyone would say, "Aw." You were always a very compassionate person, putting yourself in other people's shoes, very approachable and easygoing friend. Always busy between school and extra activities, we could always find you playing with your toys and having some alone time to recharge. Even today, you have this process of getting introspective. When you are tuned into your show tunes, we can see the wheels turning in your head and your imagination blasting off. During all these years, there were a vast collection of eyeglasses, from pink, purple, red, blue, that always made you stand off and show your fun personality. We never forget how at 4 years old at a judo presentation, You knocked down a line of boys, making one even cry, with the elegance of a black belt, fearless. You made many good friends along the way, a lot of them here today that are cheering for you on this special day. Elementary school at Schlenker, you adapted so very well. Thanks to this community that received us with open arms. This really feels like home. It was a wonderful, all the musical shows, science fairs, spelling bees, how you always wanted to come extra early to the carpool so you can have some time to talk with your friends before class started. Middle school caught us by surprise. It was like I blinked and you transformed from a little girl to a little woman. It has been an amazing seeing you grow between everything that came on, hormones, COVID, musicals, growing up. It made me go back in time and remember what was going in my mind when I was your age. The pursuit of trying to find who you are, break up from the mold, discover your passion, and people you want to be around with. Socializing as a teen, the first celebrity crush, it's a ride. So I wish you take this time today to appreciate it's a process of growing up and finding who you are and embracing it. And remember, we will always be by your side. I'm not going to sing the rest. Be kind to yourself. Perfection is an illusion. And acknowledge how much you matured and how stronger you are now. Look forward with joy to high school years you have ahead of you. People are always trying to pursue happiness, and it really comes down to having something to do, some place to go back to, and some people to love. Enjoy life, my dear. Don't overcomplicate things. We're always here for you.
So first I want to thank everybody for coming here from close and far, even from Argentina. My mom's there, my dad, and people that are watching in live stream. Gracias, obrigado, thank you. And obviously everybody that got us here, family and friends, but also everybody here at Beth Israel and the clergy, supporting us, and Carol through this process for being here in this very special moment. Carol, I am so proud of you, so proud of the wonderful young woman you have become. You are sweet and kind and responsible. You are an excellent student, a caring and loving sibling, a dedicated friend, and an outstanding member of the community. Just the other day, when David, your younger brother, started kindergarten at Schlenker, everybody was asking about you. You really left your mark in people's hearts. Miss Toby, who is in charge of the front desk, asked about you also, and she said, Carol wrote me a letter when my husband died a few years ago. I'll never forget how sweet she was. I felt sorry for Miss Toby's loss, but also proud that she found comfort in your words, in your gesture. That's who you are, Carol. Everybody that's lucky enough to cross your path in life remembers you with love, tenderness, and gratitude. They remember you for your compassion. The other aspect of your personality that I want to mention is how you have strong opinions about everything. You've always been opinionated. You've always had a voice, a clear point of view. Carol, most people in this world take a while to find their voice, to figure out what they think and how they want to express it. But that was never you. I take pride in that you say what you think and feel, that you rant, that you complain, that you say what you want and need. Sometimes it feels a bit intense. And there have been times when we've had our arguments or when I tried to have you look at things from a different perspective. But even in those moments, when I've wished your perception of the world wasn't so astute and acute, I celebrate you and applaud you. There's something very cool that you embody, which is powerful femininity, strength, and a desire to be the voice and protect those that are oppressed or cannot stand for themselves. I love that you embrace all things that matter to you with such passion and always do what you think is right. Carol, never stop saying what you mean, never stop writing your thoughts, your life, and your feelings. Never stop dancing and singing. Never stop expressing your opinions, being loud and proud about your opinions. Never stop being compassionate. I love that you talked today about how you feel blessed about the life you have and the people in your life. Everybody in your life already knows that because you are always so compassionate towards everyone. There's something extremely human and humane in being compassionate, understanding that we are not perfect and we deserve to be treated with kindness, tenderness, and care. I know you set a high bar for yourself in life. You do a lot of things really well, but I ask you to hold those high expectations in one hand, and in the other, I want you to hold an equal, if not more, amount of self-compassion. I want you to be kind with yourself. Carol, you are your own young woman.
Wonderful blessings. At this time, I'd like to invite Lucas and David to come forward so that we can join together over our blessings, over the wine and the challah.
And Carol, please take your place so you can lead us. And so we can join her. Let's rise and share the blessings with her as she leads us in the blessing first over the Sabbath wine.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. And the blessing over our challah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
And everyone should enjoy some challah. Everyone is welcome to the Margolis Gallery after the service, which is concluded, for a Kiddush luncheon. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos. Mazel Tov.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.